another edition of Cal U Connections. My name is Gary Smith, and I'll be your host today. And once again, thank everybody for joining us in this series where we try and connect the greater Cal U community with the rest of the world in these times of uncertainty. It's always good to see smiling faces and friendly faces, and the one thing Cal U is known for is a lot of smiling and friendly faces. And another thing we like to do on the show, we try to do on the show, is not only connect the Cal U community, but also connect the students to some of the services that we have on campus, because we have an amazing amount of services on campus, and a lot of people might think that, since we're in a little bit of delay here, the services have stopped, but they have not stopped. We're going full speed. Online learning has ramped up. We're about the end of week 1.5, week 2, because I can't even think what day it is. But I'm very excited to have a couple special guests here today from the Cal U Tutoring Center, and I'm going to bring in our first guest, and he can introduce his staff. And but first, we're going to bring in Dr. Bukavar. And Dr. B, thank you for joining us today. It's great to get a chance to talk to you and to what you and your staff do on a daily basis.
Thank you, Gary. It's my pleasure to be here. And today I'm here, and Brittany Cat, a writing teacher, is with me, and so is Stacy Hart, teacher in the Learning Center. She is math, stat, and other stuff. But Gary, I want our Cal U students to know that we have resumed tutoring, and we both writing centers and the learning centers are operating, and we have gotten in addition to our tutors who were able to return, we were also able to secure funding for an outside online tutoring company called Smart Thinking. So our students have two options. They have the option of using our own tutors from either the writing center or the learning center, depending on what their needs are. And they also have the other option, which is to connect with a tutor from Smart Thinking Company, free of charge for them. Either way, it's free of charge for them. So we are operating online, of course, as every other academic unit of Cal U. And we are here to basically support and help the students. And this is a great tool for student retention and student success. And we want to encourage them to seek help. And seeking help is as easy as emailing me at bukabar@calu.edu. But also for our VLC, we use the WC Online. So I'm going to let the two teachers, Brittany and Stacy, talk a little bit about on how students can get in touch with us and secure an appointment.
And we'll go to Brittany right now, and Dr. B, real quick. That's great to know, because I think a lot of students, they may not know the right path to go whenever they need tutoring, and it's great to have friendly faces like you and your staff that out there. They're going to help them and get through their academic years here in California. But as you mentioned, we're going to bring in Brittany. And Brittany, welcome to the show. I hope everything is well with you. First of all, where are you at right now during this little bit of a delay we all have?
Thank you, Gary. I'm actually in California right now, California, Pennsylvania. I'm at my apartment that I stay at during the school year. I paid my rent at the beginning of the semester, so I'm getting my money's worth.
Excellent. I'll beep whenever I go by. I'll just beep through town and make sure you can hear me. But Brittany, what is your specialty in the tutoring side of things? What if I come to you and say I need help? What can you help me with?
So I'm a writing tutor, so I can help with any type of writing. It doesn't have to be an English class. I'm actually a business major, so I can help the business majors in their writing, especially well, but also any part of the writing process. If a student has a final draft, we can proofread it. They can come in and we can talk about outlining. They can come in and not even have anything done, and we can do some brainstorming. So any type of writing, any part of the writing process, I'll be able to help with.
That is tremendous right now, because I was trying to do something right there, so you kind of caught me off guard. But that is tremendous to know that not only I mean, I think sometimes students think if you go see a writing tutor, they're only going to be able to help with, English or creative writing. But it's nice to know that, you know, there's a resource there, and you have a background that you can help them not only in that, but in any aspect. Um, Now, with the writing, what would be the process if I was a student that needed help? What would be my process? What would be my first thing to do to get help with a writing assignment?
So, like Dr. Bukavar had said, we have an online scheduling website. That's calu.mywconline.com. Students can make an account on there and register and schedule an appointment. But also, like Dr. B said, they can also email him. We also have an email for the VLC. It's just vlc@calu.edu. So if they have trouble self-scheduling, they can contact Dr. Bukavar. But basically, the Writing Center offers two different kinds of appointments that you can schedule for right now. We usually have three, but obviously we can't do the in-person ones. So the first type is we have e-tutoring. So what that implies is the student will basically just upload their paper onto their website. During the appointment session, I or another tutor would read the paper and leave comments on it. So the client or the student would not have to do anything like during the appointment session. If they're busy, that's fine. They don't need to be there. They just have to submit the paper. And then the second type of appointment that we have in the Writing Center is called an online appointment. So that would be done over video chat. The client would upload their paper onto a website where we would both be able to see, and we could talk about it over video chat or even text chat if the client doesn't have a webcam or if they're not comfortable, talking via the webcam. So those are the two options that we have for scheduling for the Writing Center.
And that's awesome. I'm going to bring Dr. B in again real quick. And I think that's something that everyone needs to know, that I think sometimes people think tutoring is just, okay, I'm going to, I don't know, submit this and people are going to make notes and changes. But it's face to face and it's very collaborative between you and your staff. It's not just sitting there and, making a couple notes. You're actually working with the student to try and help them not only succeed in the class, but understand what the lessons are.
Yes, Gary. And we have been doing that even prior to COVID-19. And the Writing Center uses the WC Online, which is a scheduling software, but it is also a tool by which they can do the online tutoring. They do not have to go to Zoom. Whereas the Learning Center, which is the course-specific tutoring, then they use Zoom, and they use it in a synchronous format. In other words, live online tutoring. So we have been doing that before, and we are lucky that we have been doing it before then, because the transition was really seamless, and we are still doing it. And as I told you, Gary, we have about 13 tutors altogether that were able to come back. You know that it's hard on our tutors to have come back because of internet connection and all the economical problems that came out and so on. So I really want to thank all my 51 tutors, and I really want to thank the people who are coming to give some of their time, because they are themselves students. They are going through hard times in terms of internet connection, in terms of changing their study habits and all that stuff. So I really am lucky that CALU is lucky, CALU students are lucky that we got some of the tutors back. But as I told you, we also have Smart Thinking, an outside company that we contracted, because we felt that 13 tutors are not going to be enough to support all of CALU students. And so what I want to tell the students, the CALU students, is that we do have ample tutoring available, and all they have to do is ask. And we also give them several ways by which they can request tutoring. And I believe the simplest way is to first try to seek tutoring from our own tutor via the WC Online, where the student can self-schedule. So the student can self-schedule an appointment with the tutor. or they can also email the VLC. It's a very easy email to remember. It's the three letters V, L, and C. So VLC@calu.edu, or they can email me directly. I monitor both emails on a daily basis. And Smart Thinking is an widely used online tutoring company, and they service several subjects, including writing and reading, math, physics, chemistry, biology, statistics, computer science, computer engineering. So they do quite some wide array of courses, and so do we. We are, as I told you, we lucked out in the sense that we had about 13 teachers who resumed work, and they service a different and wide set of courses: biology, chemistry, math, statistics, computer science, business and economics, and of course, writing tutors like Brittany and her colleagues who were able to come back. So we are in good shape, and we are thankful for that. To the tutors first and foremost.
Yeah, and that's a great point you brought up. That all the tutors are also students themselves, so they're dealing with these changes to they've got to take classes and then also set aside time to help other students. And speaking of students, we have one other person here with us, and she's been sitting patiently on the side. And it's a subject that I would have needed help tutoring every week. Every day from like grades 6 to through my graduate degree, and that's math. And Stacy Hartz, we'd like to bring you on right now, and just tell us a little bit about what you do with the Tutoring Center.
Yeah, so I am a course-specific tutor at the Learning Assistance Center. So what I specifically tutor in is math and statistics, but I can also help with finance courses and computer science courses, but I mostly get a lot of statistics and math students.
And definitely, like I said, math was my worst subject. So if I was a student and I had a math class, I would inevitably need your services. So is the process similar for a math tutor, or is there anything different, or what would be the process whenever I come to the tutoring center asking how do I do this, and probably a tear or two in my eye?
Yeah, so it's pretty much the same as the Writing Center. You can go to WC Online, our website, and set up an appointment. We also do group sessions, so if they're more comfortable studying in a group, we have that option. And then we also do the online aspect as well. And we also have things called supplemental instructions, where a student sits in on a class that they've already taken. This would be a tutor, and the students can come at a certain time set aside specifically for that class to learn and study with the tutor that is sitting in on that class.
And as a tutor with math, what do you find is the most effective way of helping students, or is it a case-by-case thing? What do you think? One-on-one helps them the most, or do you think it's a group session is better? Or as I said, I might have just stole your answer. Is it more individual? Like some people learn better in groups, some people learn one-on-one. Let's say this: what is your favorite way of tutoring, one-on-one or in groups?
It does depend on the person, but I see a lot of benefit from working as a group where they can talk with each other. They feel a little bit more comfortable. Sometimes with other people who are also struggling in that subject. So I like to work with groups.
Excellent. And then let's bring Brittany in. Same question, Brittany, in the writing scope of things. What do you prefer to do? Do you prefer to help tutor one-on-one or small groups, or does it not really matter?
Well, we don't usually get group tutoring in the Writing Center just because of like how the nature of writing assignments usually is. But it's always a little bit fun when we do. Sometimes they'll have like a group writing assignment, especially like I think it's the computer information systems majors. They have to do like a group project, or they have to write a big document about like a computer program that they're going to write. So those are always interesting. It's definitely fun to work with a group because it's unusual. But for writing. In the same vein, everybody learns different, but something that we try and do when we're tutoring and writing is use indirect methods so that we're not telling the student exactly what to do. Writing's definitely a lot different than like something like math or statistics because there might not be like one answer that is exactly right or like one method that is definitely going to get you to the right answer. So we try, if we can, to ask like leading questions to help the student come to their own conclusions and answers.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And Dr. B, we're going to bring you back on. The question I have for you now is, let's say I'm a student at CalU and I want to be a tutor. What's the process for a student to join you and your staff to help tutor other students?
Gary, that's an excellent question. We are all the time on the hiring process mood. So the center is hiring all the time. And basically, the process is very simple. I advertise via the general announcement, via the tutors themselves. They are the best ambassadors of the learning center. Via the handshake software of CalU, and via my colleagues. I can always tell my colleagues, get me good teachers, get me good tutors, and so on. The process is simple for the student to apply. All they send is an email to bukabar@calu.edu, which is my email, with one-page resume, and then I take it from there. I will usually call them for a 5, 10 to 15 minutes interview, and if I can't meet with them face-to-face, then we can do it via phone or Zoom or something like that. And then I'll decide whether they get hired or not. But in general, we are more in need of teachers than we have. So, and then another thing, Gary, that I need to mention so that the audience knows about it is that we offer quite some trainings to the tutors. We don't just let them on their own and throw them. And we do what we call shadowing, especially in the writing center when writing tutor is newly hired. So she is assigned to an experienced writing tutor like Brittany, for instance, and she observes her carrying a real tutorial session. We also give lots of pedagogical training as well as content training. So when it comes to the writing center, I appeal to my colleagues of the English department to come and give a content writing workshop, or to some writers like a colleague of mine in the Department of Math and Science, but she has like 4 or 5 books, so she came and gave a workshop, or like a colleague of mine from the library to give a workshop on the API 7th edition style. So we give them lots of support to help them be the best teacher they can be.
And that's awesome. And one of the things that I think that is so great about what you and your staff do is like you said, you're helping the students succeed because, and that's one of the things I think a school like CalU, I think everybody here really has the students' best interest at heart trying to get through because, college is a tough time and, there's a lot of changes. And like I said, your staff does a great job helping them. And what does it feel like for you, Dr. B? I'll ask you first and we'll go down the line. Like seeing a student, like from when they first come in to need tutoring and then whenever there's that aha moment that they understand what's going on and they're succeeding. What does that feel like to you as a tutor and an educator to see that success with the student?
This is the whole thing. I get 2 pleasures out of being the director of the VLC. And the 2 pleasures are to help CalU students with their student retention and success. And that's a huge thing because today's students, they don't have money, they have a hectic life, they have 3, 4 jobs, and so they need all the support that they can get. And believe me, tutoring is one of the best academic support that they can get. So I really take an inner satisfaction in doing that for our students. And the other pleasure that I get is to work with the tutors and help them grow as tutors, as students, as persons, and sometimes they just step in my office and ask for a question like 1 2 minutes, and it can make a difference in their student life or in their life, basically. That's basically the whole pleasure and satisfaction that I get out of directing this VLC, which is a hard job, by the way. It's not easy, but the pleasure and the satisfaction outweighs the hardship of the job.
I understand that entirely. And Brittany, we're going to go to you the same question. What is it like whenever you see someone, at the beginning of the semester, they may be struggling with, with their writing, and then at the end of the semester that, hey, they have it, or maybe at the end of 2 semesters that they're really making progress. How does that make you feel?
It's definitely one of the most satisfying parts of the job. I have had a lot of students come see me, even in the short term, they'll be like, hey, on my last paper, I got a B, and the one before that, when you didn't help me, I got a C, so thank you. So that's always nice, but Dr. Buchebel will tell you, one of our biggest jobs in tutoring is to put ourselves out of a job, so that students will develop the skills that they don't need to come see us anymore. And I definitely have had a lot of students that I've worked with for, even like a year or 2 years. And then they stop coming, and I might like see them around campus, and I'll be like, hey, I haven't seen you in a while. And they'll be like, yeah, like I just don't really need the tutoring anymore. And I'm like, that's great. It's definitely very satisfying.
And Stacy, for you, what's it like when someone comes in and is struggling with math? Like I'm struggling with my English right now. I need an English tutor, I think. But struggling with whatever the problem is, whatever math problem it is, and then, like I said, there's that aha moment that, hey, they're going to get this, so they're going to be okay in class. How does that make you feel?
It's a very rewarding feeling. I help a lot of people with their math placement tests, and it helps them get placed into a certain math class. So they come to me and they're like nervous about it, and they're not really sure how to do it. So I work through the packets with them to help them prepare for this test. And then they come back to me and tell me that they've passed the test. So it's just a very nice feeling to know that you're making a difference in someone's life.
And that's, like I said, I think with you and your staff that everybody does is just tremendous. And one other question I have, we have about 2 or 3 minutes left here, everyone. But Dr. B, I've asked what the process before, but what are the signs that if I'm a student that I would need tutoring? Is it strictly like on the student to figure out if they want this tutoring, or is there some guidance from that particular professor? They may say, okay, Gary, stay after class. Your last essay wasn't good. You may need to see the tutoring center. Or is it a combination?
That's an excellent question, Gary. And as a director, and I've been directing a learning center in one way or another for the 5th year now, there are 2 challenges. One is to get good tutors to apply for the job, so I'm always on the look. And an equal challenge is to get the students come and seek help. Those students who need help, need tutorial assistance, and it's a challenge for me as a director, the tutors, the faculty, the staff, who work on the Office of Student Success and so on, to basically get the student to come and seek tutoring. And usually the first visit is the hardest. So how can we identify these people? By many ways. The Office of Student Success could alert me to some students who need help, and they send me an email. Sometimes they copy the student and they reach out to the student. The faculty do the same. They recommend that such a student need tutoring and something like that, and then we reach to them. And basically, it's just a matter of consistently and persistently welcoming them, and that's why I tell the tutors in the during training that we have to have the utmost customer service. We need to make the VLC into a safe, non-threatening, and welcoming place for the students to come and to learn, where they feel comfortable. And I must say that the tutors, without exception, do a great job at that. They really are very good. They go out of their way to help the student. And as I said, the first visit is the hardest for the student because it's not easy. Because of tutoring being seen as something that is not good to have, but it's something normal. People need help. All people need help, and when you take a college algebra class or an English composition one class that runs Monday, Wednesday, Friday for 50 minutes, obviously that's not going to be enough for the student to digest the learning. So you have to give more support to them. And also, like Stacy say about the study groups and the supplemental instruction, is that when you study together, you learn from each other. And one very important thing to say about tutoring is that no matter how good a professor I am, and no matter how much of an experience I have in teaching, and no matter how well I know my content, sometimes the student will understand much better from another student. Don't forget that these tutors, like Brittany and Stacy, are themselves students, and they have taken the course not that long ago. So the thing is still fresh in their brain, in their mind, and the struggles that go with the learning of that particular course is still vividly fresh in their brain, and therefore they could do a better job than the professor. I am not saying that the tutoring is a substitute for the classroom. No, the tutoring is a supplement, is an academic support that helps the classroom and the professors.
Well, I tell you what, the one thing you said in there was at the beginning was about how you guys try and make everything comfortable. And I know just in this conversation, if I was a student, I would feel very comfortable coming into you or any one of your staff to talk about whatever issues I have. And like I said, I think what you and your staff are doing is just tremendous work. And now we have a couple seconds, or no, not a couple seconds, we got a minute or two left. But as you mentioned too, both Brittany and Stacy, and all your tutors are students right now. But let's take a second and ask. We'll go with Brittany first. Brittany, what is your major? And I know you said at the beginning, but let's remind people what your major is and what are your goals after you graduate here at Cal U?
Sure. So I'm a business major. I'm concentrating in accounting. So, I'm not actually an English major, even though I work in the Writing Center. I am minoring in literature, so I have that aspect of English to my degree. So when I graduate, I'm graduating at the end of the semester. Yay.
Congratulations.
Thanks. In August, I'm going to start working for PNC Bank. I'm going to be working in their finance and accounting department at their offices in downtown Pittsburgh. So very exciting.
Well, that's awesome. Congratulations and good luck to you. And Stacy, what is your major and what are your goals after graduation? What year are you in school? 3 questions at once there.
I am a junior right now, so I graduate next spring. And my major is math, and I have a concentration in statistics, and then I'm also minoring in finance and computer science. I'm not really sure right now what I want to do, but I do want to go into some sort of industry working with math.
That's awesome, and congratulations to you, and enjoy the rest of your time here at Cal U, since you said you have a little bit more time left. And Dr. B, it's been great chatting with you and your staff. I think like I said a couple times during the show, I think what you and your staff do and your services do is wonderful for the university. And I know we've had students that have come through the radio and TV and newspaper areas here that have utilized your services, and you can definitely tell the growth that they've had from the beginning of using your services and your staff to the end. And it's just wonderful what everybody does for the students.
Thank you, Gary, and thank you, Brittany, and thank you, Stacey.
And thanks to everybody for watching. That's been our episode of CalU Connections. You can stay connected to everything CalU and the media. You can check out our Facebook page. Follow us at CUTV. That's California University Television on Facebook. Our Twitter feed is at CUTV_PA, and that's where you'll see links to live shows and also different fun stuff we do. And also, we'll have the updated links and everything for every show we do on CUTV, on CUTV Sports 1 on YouTube. Our good friends at the Cal Times are doing wonderful work during this time, keeping everybody updated with what services are open, any changes. They did a great job of jumping on the information that trout season started a couple days earlier this week. So you can follow their Twitter feed at Cal Times, which is just at Cal Times on Twitter, and our friends over at the radio station, 91.9 FM, WCAL. Follow them on their Spotify page, which is WCAL Power 92. They're putting together several collaborative playlists that anyone can join, and there's different themes when there's study themes, workout, meditation. So let's try and make this a nice community and get the best possible playlist for everybody to get through this time. But speaking of time, we're out of it. Thank you to my guests from the Tutoring Center, and we'll see you next time on CalU Connections.